It's been a little hectic. Hello? Is anyone home? I did just get out of the shower, so my hair is wet and a mess. Don't mind that. I lost control of my bowels and I pooped my pants. And you are a disrespectful piece of mental things. It's scary. Like,
hey everybody, so I'm sure you are all familiar with the kind of back and forth, the beef between Amberlynn and Jordy. And if you would like to like and subscribe, that would literally be hectic. I'm not gonna lie. Specifically, she has decided to target Jordy. Now she talks about reaction channels in general, but she has decided that Jordy is enemy number one for sure. So today we're gonna kind of figure out where that started and why. I have a theory we'll talk about kind of as we get a little bit further into it as to why she latched onto Jordy specifically. But this is a wild ride. It's kind of a roller coaster, but this is, as far as I can tell, now she may have mentioned Jordy before this, but this is really where it started, right? She is reacting to him, and she doesn't even mention him by name. In fact, the title of this video, if you go back and look at it, is Reacting to a Pointless Reaction Channel. So it's pretty petty, throwing shade. So, but this is kind of the mentality that we're dealing with at the beginning. And you can tell his style of reacting, you know, just basically just saying how boring she is and all that stuff just drives her nuts. Because she thinks her life is really interesting. Interesting enough to make a vlog about it, right? And she thinks her vlog is just like everybody else's. Why would mine be boring? I do the same thing as all these other vloggers. But what she doesn't understand is they put, you know, music and editing and interesting things in their vlogs. And they do interesting things, right? But she won't ever get that. But so let's just see what she has to say about Jordy reacting to her. And in the future, I will leave my face up so you can see my reactions. But right now, since her face is right here, I'm just going to, it'll disappear for a little while.
and he's fast forwarding it. It's just funny because it's like, he knows what my content is. It's like, what are you looking for? What are you in search of? What are you in need of? Because I don't think I'm the one. Like, you might have to fire me, because if you're this bored, you might have to fire me. I'm sorry, because I'm not going to change my content for no reaction channel. But it's just like,
See, and I think here she thought maybe she could sort of talk him into leaving her alone, right? Or just sort of come out and be like, look, you're bored, so why not just react to somebody else? You know, maybe take the heat off of her a little bit. But it's manipulation. She knows that if she comes out and says, hey, stop reacting to me, everybody would just laugh at her. So she does this. It's a passive-aggressive way to sort of be like, I don't like this, you know, but she has to sort of come off in her mind like she's smarter than him and that she is, you know, sticking it to him instead of being the person that's made fun of, if that makes sense. Even though her content sucks. And Jordy calling her out on it touches a nerve, right? Because I think she's pretty self-conscious about the fact that her content is terrible. And so anybody that brings attention to that kind of gets her feeling icky, right? So then she has to come on here and be like, well, your content sucks too. All the while, and you'll see in a minute, she's basically like, your content sucks because you're reacting to my content. So I don't think she accomplished what she wanted to, but she's trying. That's one of her manipulation tactics.
seeing this perfectly, like, clear as ever, like, he's miserable. He's miserable. So you could tell that this is literally, he's just doing this for money, which I get it. We're all here to make a pretty penny.
The old classic. You're only doing this for money. Like, shut up.
Get it, but it's like, you're miserable. Poor thing.
So good. So yeah, that's everything up. Okay, guys, so I think it's time that I change my purse. I've been using
And this is another segment I love to watch vloggers do. I love to see what's in their purses. So that's why I did it.
And again, she doesn't understand why other vloggers can do it well and hers is boring. Because nobody watches Amberlynn to know what's in her purse, right? She doesn't have the style or the general flair that those people have. You know, the reason that old show Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous became so popular is because people like to know what the rich and famous are doing. She doesn't have any of that, right? She doesn't have the clout or the status or the wealth. I mean, she makes decent money, but she's not interesting enough that anybody would want to know what's in her purse. But she thinks that she is.
As well. And let me guess, he's gonna be so bored because people don't make reaction videos on this. Unless you're pulling out a freaking dildo and a whole bag of hot Cheetos and a fucking rubber ducky. Like, okay, that's absurd and obscene.
What?
But this is just a regular vlog. I'm bored watching you watch me. Like, I could.
There it is. So that's kind of what this is about. Is she just wants to throw shade at him for his content, you know? And now, I mean, she does admit that you're boring because you're watching my content, but I don't think she gets the connection there, right?
Cheapo.
I hate to keep bringing this up, but I mean, you saw I just skipped through like a whole minute. I couldn't do like the kitchen counter haul of like, look what I bought. I mean, really? This is the whole episode? Let me put on makeup.
I honestly could be saying the same thing. Like, I mean, really? This is your content? Your little tiny face? Just chilling? Saying how boring something is, but yet still just like watching it and reacting? Just like cut the video off and say, you know what? I'm not reacting to this one. Wait for the fucking next one. Like, you're complaining about my content while your content is like no different. Like, the boring vlog is literally on your channel now too. None of it adds up.
Hold on, that's a great freeze frame. So that's it in a nutshell, right? She's just wanting to make fun of Jordy and say his content sucks because he's saying her content sucks. And so she wants to kind of get back at him. So that's where it all started. And as you can see, she really thought and still thinks that everything she does is interesting, that everybody wants to know everything about her. So at this point, she is sort of annoyed with Jordy. At least in the videos that she's making, she's annoyed with Jordy and she's sort of making it seem like she doesn't like him. But she's watching his channel. And she is actually, I think her mind is starting to go into this idea of maybe I can manipulate him. Maybe I can talk to him like I do everybody else and try to get them to do what I want him to do. And maybe I can get him on my side for whatever reason. I'm not sure why she decided Jordy would be a good candidate for her ally. But I think, I mean, he maybe could come off as a little insecure or something like that in her mind, but I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know why she thought he would be an ally, but she really thought she could manipulate him into being a friend or being an ally, and we'll go over that in this next part. Okay, so this is a recording, and she sent him a handful of voice messages, but this is a recording that she sent to Jordy. And this is where she's starting to try to manipulate him and trying to get him to be on her side. My only guess is that she thought, man, if I could have him in my corner, it could be us against all the reaction channels and he kind of stick up for me or whatever. I really don't know what her end goal was, but she clearly thought that she could manipulate him. So let's listen to what she had to say to Jordy. The first video we watched was in 2022, was in August of 2022. This is in November of 2022, right? So this is just a few months later.
You know, I think I have a love-hate relationship with you because you remind me of someone who used to be my best friend. You remind me of someone who was like literally family to me, and we no longer speak anymore, which is really unfortunate, and it's like broken my heart like completely. But you remind me of this person a lot. And I try to look past the fact that you strongly dislike me enough to like make reaction videos about me.
I think we all understand how much of a manipulation tactic it is to say, you remind me of somebody that I love or somebody that I used to have a good relationship with and stuff like that. That's kind of trying to weasel your way in to being like, you know, we could be friends. I'm already friends with somebody that is just like you. We could really have a good relationship. I mean, it's sleazy, especially when there's no friendship here, right? It's not like she's coming in and going like, I wish we could still be friends or could be friends again. There's no friendship between the two, but she's trying to make one by saying, oh my gosh, you remind me of somebody I love. Like, that's just, That's messed up.
Because like you as a person, you just really remind me of someone I used to really love as like family and a best friend. So I don't know. I'm rambling. Don't mind me. I always ramble. Anyways, I'm actually watching your live stream. Be surprised. I don't know. I guess I do kind of enjoy your content ever since I found out about it. So
Good evening.
yeah. I see the chat.
And of course, we have the classic. I got this clip from Karina Kaboom. We have the classic, little snippets that she puts in there that are always hilarious. But I mean, you can hear it in her voice, right? She is being so insincere and so manipulative. It's Duper's delight in voice form, right? She's giddy at the fact that, oh, he's going to be my friend. And again, she doesn't have friends. She has tools that she can use to do whatever she needs to have done. And in this case, I think it was just to have an ally against, Snowflake and Karina and all those.
I see the chat and they're saying that this is a trap and I'm a manipulator. Unfortunately, they're wrong, and that's just something I have to deal with. Being Amberlynn Reed, I get it, the community around me, but I can tell you I'm being completely genuine right now. So, am I gonna regret these memos because they're gonna be all over everything? Like, maybe, but it is what it is. I don't know, I'm tired of hiding. I'm ready to be myself, and the person that I am, she kind of likes you. You remind me of someone that I care about.
I mean, I don't know how much more manipulative you can sound. She kind of likes you, and if you didn't know the history, like if you didn't know who these people were and you heard that, you might think, oh, she's just really trying to be his friend. But we know Amberlynn Reed. We know what kind of relationship they have, which is an antagonistic relationship, right? They are not friends. They're, I wouldn't say enemies necessarily at this point, but, this is clearly just somebody trying to work her way in to try to manipulate.
And I like your personality.
I bet you're a lot of fun at parties.
It is what it is. Okay, I'm going to stop bothering you after this one. It just makes me really sad that people think that I'm trying to manipulate you.
So I think I'm an empath.
Because truly I have no reason to.
Yeah. If you can avoid it, try to avoid it.
You're going to continue making the content that you want. And I have reached out to other reaction channels before because I very much am that type of person where I just don't want people to dislike me. And it 100% stems from childhood trauma. Which, why are we talking about this like right now?
Okay, so that's pretty much it for this. But and then she goes into childhood trauma and stuff. And she said she's reached out to other reaction channels. Like, maybe. She probably not like this. I doubt it was this extreme. But then trying to get the sympathy, right? It comes from childhood trauma. She has to throw that in there, right? Because it's all manipulation. There's no sincerity at all to any of this. So things just kind of go like normal. At that point, Jordy had played those voice memos and ignored them, right? He was just like, no, we're not going to be friends. I'm not interested. No, thank you. And that just had to eat Amberlynn alive. She hated that. Well, at some point, Amberlynn sees a car with the license plate from the state that Jordy lives in. And so for whatever reason, instead of thinking, hey, that's weird, somebody from a state that has millions of people just happens to be in this area. But no, she thinks that must be Jordy. That must specifically be Jordy or somebody that knows Jordy stalking me. Okay. To the point where she gets all paranoid about it. And then this happens.
Alexis literally paid to find out all of Jordy's information. I'm telling you. Between Jordy's parents' names, Jordy's siblings' names, Jordy's phone number, to Jordy's address, to all of that. Why? I'll never know. I'll never be able to tell you. Did she also text that number?
So first of all, you can tell first that she's drunk, but you can just feel the lie, right? She's so animated and everything. It's just, something about that's not true. And I'm going to guess that it wasn't Alexis that did it. I'm guessing it's Amber. And we're going to get into that in a second.
Yeah, she did. Yeah. And I'm just sitting back like, what is actually happening? I really don't know. But I mean, if we want to talk about someone obsessed with Jordy, y'all need to look in Alexis's view, because just saying. All right.
All that, like, she is a bad liar.
All right. YouTube.
Amber 1000% did that. So when I first heard that, my initial thought was Amberlynn probably wanted my information just in case the whole stalking thing was true. If Amberlynn genuinely thought that I had visited, I was in her area, or I had sent someone from Pennsylvania to go and stalk her, she probably thought, well, let me get information about him. So just hearing this, I immediately knew that Amberlynn had a part in it, if not the entire role of facilitating finding out personal information about me. So I reached out to Alexis earlier today, and I said, with the new allegations, I want to hear your side. She said, which part? And I said, she said that you paid to get information about my family. Alexis says, I did not pay for anything. Everything I found was on Google. And why I even looked was because she was stressing so hard that you were stalking her. So I was like, well, why don't you just contact him? Here's your info.
So then, she's dating Emily, and Jordy is kind of on the front lines of figuring out that she's a feeder and reporting all the information that is coming out about her being a feeder. And Amber is not having it. She is not happy about it. It's driving her nuts. Just a few months ago, one of Emily's ex's ex came out with a bunch of allegations about Emily and abuse and all kinds of stuff. And it says here, like, the girl came out and said, I just want people to know who Emily really is and what she's capable of. And there were a lot of pretty crazy allegations of, like, keeping her in a basement. It all stemmed from all the feeder stuff, right? She would feed her to the point of immobility and keeping her in a basement and all that kind of stuff. It was crazy. And Jordy was on the front lines of all that. And she came out and said we had to talk to a detective. And again, Jordy is the one breaking all this news. He's like the guy, he's the reporter doing all the work to get the interviews with the people that are involved. And then it actually comes out, and then Jordy goes and finds, which I don't know if Jordy himself did the research, but he's the one reporting it, that we actually do have police reports and actual charges between Emily and her significant other at the time. So Amber is not enjoying this at all, right? So it wasn't very long after this that Amberlynn actually went to Wisconsin. Maybe a few weeks after this happened, she went to Wisconsin. And then she just disappeared for like a month. And the whole time, she's just stewing, and Jordy is probably all she's thinking about. She's pretending to be happy with Emily, but all she's thinking about is, I hate Jordy so much, because she was rejected by Jordy. And I think a lot of her anger, a lot of her resentment in the world and life comes from being rejected. And Jordy did exactly what she hates the most, and that is just not respond and not be her friend. And so that brings us to kind of where we're at now. And I think we all know what happened here, but I like watching this, so let's watch it again.
Okay. All right. She's gone. Amberlynn is #blocked. Blocked.
Because she wouldn't leave him alone, right? She came in and she's just being a shithead, being Amberlynn, right? She's calling him a liar, saying he needs to get out of his mom's basement, and just being a general turd. And so he blocks her. I love that. All right, and so this is my favorite part of the whole thing. Of the whole saga, this is probably my favorite part.
Yes. You are the last thing that Amberlynn said on my channel. Everyone write this down. Everyone get notepads out. This will be on the chapter test. Amberlynn's final words in my chat. You are literally dense. Dense was capitalized. and money hungry, so you feed off the drama. Well, Amberlynn, I will say, I think that based on what we have seen on the past year with your influence on the internet, there is only one person being fed, and that's you, hun.
So, and I love Jordy. He's so funny. But isn't it wild that she says, you just feed off the drama, right? And she really doesn't understand the drama is all she has. That's the only thing that's keeping her relevant is the drama that she hates so much. But she calls him out on it. So she's clearly spiraling. She gets blocked. She is out of control. And that leads us to this, which is just, if anybody ever says, hey, what does sour grapes mean? Show them this video. Explain them what happened here. She got rejected. And this is, I'm taking my ball and going home. This is sour grapes.
Jordy, hello. I know you're watching. I know you're watching by yourself first, and then you like to watch again while you're reacting, which is weird because why can't you just watch the first time during your reaction? Is it because you have to think of things to say and to complain about and to nitpick and all the little fat jokes you make? Is that what it is? You have to like ponder that while you're playing your little World of Warcraft in your mom's basement? Don't answer that because that's not the question. My question is, you say that you want, the best for me. You want me to go on semaglutide and lose the weight. You say that you're just a reaction channel and you're reacting to just, me as a person. And supposedly I'm just not a good person and all that. But what makes you better? Every 1 minute or 2 minutes, you have a fat joke. A very mean fat joke. You are fat phobic and you're fat shaming and your audience eggs it on. What makes you any better than me? You're actively making fun of someone's weight, size, and body for money, for monetization gain. But yet I'm the bad person? I know you're gonna have a rebuttal. I know you're gonna manipulate your audience. But either way, if you were just reacting, why is it okay to be fat phobic while doing so? Is that because that's all you have? Because I'm not as shitty as you really thought I was and my life isn't as dramatic as you want it to be? So the only thing you have is every other minute making fun of my body and my weight and my size and my issues? That's pretty fucking pathetic if you ask me. And I think it's time you go outside and get a little bit of sun. You're looking a little pale. All right, you guys.
So that is the end of the saga as of right now. So, the smug there is just off the charts. She's just so childish. It is bonkers, right? It is fascinating to see how childish she is. And even just the look at her face right there. She is so pleased with herself right now. But it started with her reacting to a pointless reaction channel and basically just saying your content sucks because you're reacting to my content, to trying to really be his friend, or actually just trying to manipulate him into being her friend so that he could do something for her. I'm not sure. I think just be an ally against the hate. And then it just went out of control after that. And now here we are. This is where we're at right now. As of January 2025, Amberlynn has become this. This is where we're at. And she hates Jordy. She absolutely hates him now because he rejected her. It all can be summed up with, she tried to be his friend. She thinks she's amazing, that everybody would want to be her friend. And so when somebody rejects her, she can't handle it. She just doesn't know what to do with herself. So she does this kind of shit. Okay. All right. Gross. I don't like this at all. But it's interesting. It's fascinating. As always, she is so fascinating for all the wrong reasons. So anyway, I appreciate you guys. I'll see you next time. Take care.